Hi guys, this is Mark. In this video I will talk about Object Deletion API. It is an API designed to delete a specific object in the database. You identify that object with its object ID, which is a special property in Backendless. Every single object stored in the database has its own unique ID, and that's the ID you use to identify a specific object that should be deleted. I will demonstrate how to use this API with the REST API provided by Backendless, and I will also do a demo using Codeless, but it will equally apply to the API available in all of our SDKs. So let's take a look at what we have in the database. Here I have the product table, and every single product here has its own object ID. These are custom IDs that were assigned to these records whenever we brought these records over into the database through the CSV import. Normally the object ID would be a 36 character long string, which is a unique value that every single object has within a specific table. So let's take a look at the API to delete these objects. So for this I will switch to REST console, and let's retrieve some records and see how the object deletion works. So there are two ways that you could use this API. So one, by using specific IDs. So for instance, we'll pick this object right here. As you can see, object ID is 128. So I will also open up the network tab so we can see the actual request that is made. And to delete this object, you can just specify the object ID in here. And this is the field that becomes available when you click the Object ID button. So the value is 128, and when you click delete, a request goes out and deletes that object. And in fact, this is the request. As you can see in the URL, we specify the name of the table, / and then the actual object ID to delete. Whenever this API goes through and if the deletion is successful, the response is a JSON object that specifies a timestamp for when that deletion happened. Alternatively, you can delete an object by specifying request body, and in the request body all Backendless needs is the object ID, but you can pass in the entire object. So let me also demonstrate this. Again, let's fetch records. We need to delete this object when we fetch. So now we have these records, and let's say that this is the object that we want to delete. So instead of specifying object ID in here, we can just take this value, put it in the request body, and in the request body, the only thing, as I said, Backendless cares about is this object ID property. So all of these could be removed, but if they stay there, there is no harm. So now if we click delete, again, request goes out, and this is the request, I believe. So notice that this is a delete operation that goes to this URL that identifies the table, and the payload is the actual object that we're sending to the server that also includes this object ID. And then the response is the same as with deletion by specifying object ID in the URL, and it is a JSON object containing the deletion time. So very straightforward API. Let me demonstrate how you would use that in UI Builder, and then we'll dig into the actual Codeless block that performs the deletion. For those who write code, you will find a dedicated method that deletes an object in the database. So in UI Builder, click on the front end button to switch to UI Builder. And in here, let's create a new page that from a template that is in the marketplace that already has all the functionality to delete an object from the database. So for this, move the mouse over this area, click New Page, select Marketplace, and the template that you need is this one, Lecture 26, which is this lecture, Object Delete API, and give it a name. Let's say Object Delete. Click Create. So now this page is created. It is very similar to the page template that we used in the Object Update API, with the difference that there is now a delete button that will be deleting the current record. I'm going to run this page first so you can see it in action, and then we will take a look at the logic behind it. So let's run this page in the preview. So now we got all our records. When we select a record, the details for the selected record are populated in the form, and when we click the delete button, it sends a request, and then as you saw, this record is deleted. So now let's say we try it again with this practical aluminum code, click delete, and now it is gone. The API request on the wire is going to be exactly the same as you just saw with REST console. Let's take a look at the logic behind the delete button. So click the delete button and then navigate to the logic section. So this is the on-click event handler, and you will see this block that says delete table object. This block is available in the data API section. You will scroll down and you will see, here it is, delete table object. This is the block that we're using. In this block, you provide the name of the table that you want to delete an object from, and then in here there's an argument or a connector that says object or object ID. So here with this block you can either pass in the entire object, which is what I'm doing. It is the data model for the current form. It contains the actual object, or you could pass in a specific value of the object ID. The effect is going to be exactly the same. So this sends a request to the server, and that object is deleted, and then the rest of the logic is just to update the UI. And by the way, for this, what I do is I take the existing list of all the objects from my repeater. I go through all of them to find the one that is the current object that I'm deleting, and I'm basically excluding it from the list. And then this block returns the updated list without the object that was deleted, and I put it back into the repeater. So essentially just doing the filtering for the records that I have by excluding that object that was deleted. And alternatively, you could make another request to the server and bring the data back and re-render it, but that is not recommended. It's better just to work with the data model and the UI that you already have on the client side to just update the viewport. That's it. So it's very, very straightforward mechanism for deleting objects in the database. That's all I have prepared for you to demonstrate this functionality. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment. If you need any help, please use our support forum, and we'll be happy to assist you. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy coding.